Yeah. And that's not winter in California.
No, 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 no. So that was interesting. But and thank God they put out the fire in the Oakland Hills. That was really worrisome.
Mm.
Yesterday, they had fire in the Oakland Hills, and the last time they had a fire in the Oakland Hills, it killed people. It was a really bad fire because it's so densely populated, and there's
Yeah.
not. And you know what those roads are like, all those switchbacks up there in the hills. You can't really get out of there very easily.
Yeah.
So that was like, oh, thank God, thank God. And house, I see Dottie. I see Dottie. I mean, I don't see Dottie, but I'm aware of the fact that it's. I can see by the phone number that that's Dottie. Dottie, hope you're doing well. How's Lido? Is Lido there? Somebody must be there because I can see. And Elizabeth, I see that you're here. Glad you're here. Glad you're joining us. There you are, Jaima. John said he can't join us today because he has some sort of a very important appointment. So who
Okay. Wow.
knows? Who knows? When you got an appointment, it tends to be important, right? Because you've waited for it. All right, so then I think we should begin. All right, and I hope some of you were able to join us online for our Durga Puja. Were you?
Yes.
Yay. Good, you could join us. And thank you
Beautiful.
for all that japa, Sunanda.
You're welcome.
Yay.
Yay.
Score in the japa department. So we are still on the Master's birthday, Sunday, February 22nd, 1885. Okay. Okay. The devotees were taking prasad. It was a sumptuous feast. Shamakrishna said to M, "Haven't you invited the Mukherjees? Ask Surendra to feed the musicians." Bepin Sarkar arrived. The devotees introduced him to the master. Shamakrishna sat up and said to the devotees, "Give him a seat and some betel leaf." He said to Bepin humbly, "I am sorry not to be able to talk to you. There is a great crowd today." Pointing to Girindra, Shamakrishna said to Babaram, "Give him a carpet." Nitya Gopal was sitting on the floor. The master asked a devotee to give him a carpet too. So funny. We're just reading this just about word for word in the convent. I don't know how it ends up. We end up cycling at the same time, even though they're read at different times and different lengths of time. But there we go. Here we are. Okay. Physician Mahendra of Sinti arrived. The master, smiling, asked Rakal by a sign to have the physician examine his pulse. Turning to Ramlal, the master said, "Be friendly with Girish Ghosh. Then you'll get a free ticket to the theater." Narendra had been talking a long time with Hazra on the porch. Since his father's death, Narendra had been having financial worries. He entered the room and took a seat. Master to Narendra, "Were you with Hazra? Both of you are in the same boat. You know the saying about the two friends. You are away from your country, and he is away from his beloved. Hazra, too, needs 1,500 rupees." Laughter. Hazra says Narendra has acquired 100% sattva, though still there is in him a little pink glow of rajas. That's because rajas is seen as red, sattva as white, and tamas as black. But I have 125% pure sattva. All laugh. I said to Hazra, "You indulge in reasoning only. That is why you are so dry." He retorts, "No, I'm dry because I drink the nectar of the sun." Yummy. Okay, speaking of pure bhakti, I said to Hazra, "A real devotee does not pray to God for money or riches." Hazra replies, "When the flood of divine grace descends, the rivers overflow. And further, the pools and canals are filled. By the grace of God, one gets not only pure devotion, but the 6 supernatural powers, and money too." Well, and he's living with Sri Ramakrishna. It's like all for the play, I guess. Narendra and many other devotees were seated on the floor. Girish entered the room and joined them. Master to Girish, "I look on Narendra as Atman. I obey him." Girish, "Is there anyone you don't obey?" Master, smiling. He has a manly nature, and I have the nature of a woman. He is a noble soul, and belongs to the realm of the indivisible Brahman. Girish went out to have a smoke. I was thinking about that. I think by feminine, he means a softer personality, but more also because he talks about Narendra in the realm of the indivisible Brahman. And Sri Ramakrishna, who tends to go into indivisible Brahman at the drop of a hat, has been told by the Divine Mother to remain in Bhavamukha, right at the edge between the personal and the impersonal, between this world and all-pervading consciousness. So I think the feminine, I think he's like in a personal form of God, so that he can bring his mind down and be able to be with people and to teach and to talk with them. Girish went out to have a smoke. Narendra, to the master. I had a talk with Girish Ghosh. He is indeed a great man. We talked about you, master. What did you say about me? Narendra, that you are illiterate and we are scholars. Oh, we talked in that vein. Laughter. Mani Malak, to the master. You have become a pundit without reading a book. Master, to Narendra and the others. Let me tell you this. Really and truly, I don't feel sorry in the least that I haven't read the Vedanta or other scriptures. By the Vedanta, they mean the end of the Vedas. Basically, the Vedanta means the Upanishads. That is the Vedanta. Like, he knows them, but he hasn't read them or studied them. He spent a long time as he was growing up with pundits and with monks, and they would recite, and he had one of those memories that would take everything in and he wouldn't forget anything. So when you go through the gospel, you realize how much he's actually quoting the scriptures, how much he's actually quoting from these texts. Anyway, but he has sat down and studied them, because first of all, his mind won't go there. Second of all, he doesn't really read all that much because he listens. He wants to live it, not study it. And that's the difference between a professor and those who actually live religion. Okay, I know that the essence of the Vedanta is that Brahman alone is real and the world illusory. And what is the essence of the Gita? It is what you get by repeating the word 10 times. Then it is reversed into Thagi, which refers to renunciation. The pupil should hear the essence of the scriptures from the guru. Then he should practice austerity and devotions. A man needs the letter he has received from home as long as he has not learned its contents. After reading it, however, he sets out to get the things he's been asked to send. Likewise, what need is there of the scriptures if you know the essence? The next thing is the practice of spiritual discipline. Girish entered the room. Master to Girish. Hello. What were you saying about me? I eat, drink, and make merry. Girish. What should we have been saying about you? Are you a holy man? Master. No, nothing of the sort. Truly, I do not feel I am a holy man. Girish. I'm not your equal even in joking. Master. I once went to Jai Gopal Sen's office. Jai Gopal Sen's garden house, wearing a red bordered cloth. Keshab was there. Looking at the red borders, Keshab said, What's this? Such a flash of color today. Such a display of red borders. I said, I've come to cast a spell on Keshab, hence the display. Narendra was going to sing again. Sri Ramakrishna asked him to take down the tampura from the wall. Narendra was a long time tuning it. The master of the devotees became impatient. Binode said, he will tune it today and sing another day. Laughter. It takes a long time to tune those things, because if there's a difference at all in the humidity, and you'll turn up that thing, and then you start to, and then it just goes bang, it goes down again, and you have to retune it all the time. I'm on Narendra's side on that. Okay. Sri Ramakrishna left. He said, I feel like breaking the tampura to pieces. What is this? Only tong tong. Then he will practice tana nana nere num, which is the sound of a stringed instrument. Okay. Tana nana nere num. Narendra sang, O Mother, thou my inner guide, ever awake within my heart. Day and night thou holdest me in thy lap. Why Why dost thou show me such tenderness to this unworthy child of thine? Then he sang, O my lute of a single string, sing the Blessed Mother's name, for she is the solace of my soul. And again, in dense darkness, O Mother, thy formless beauty sparkles. Therefore the yogis meditate in a dark mountain cave. In an ecstatic mood, Sri Ramakrishna came down and sat by Narendra's side. He began to talk, still in ecstasy. Master, shall I sing? Fie, to Nitya Gopal. What do you say? One should listen to singing to awaken the inner spirit. Nothing matters afterwards. He has kindled the fire, that is nice. Now all is silence. That is nice too. I am silent, you be silent too. The thing is to dive into the elixir of bliss. Shall I sing? Well, I may. Water is water, whether it's still or in waves. Narendra was seated near the master. He was constantly worried about his financial difficulties at home. He was now 23 years old. Sri Ramakrishna looked at him intently. Master, to Narendra smiling, undoubtedly you are Ka, but you have to worry about taxes. That's the trouble. Ka is referring to several things. Maybe Akasha, which is, Akasha is space, but it also can refer to Brahman. Ka is also the first letter of the Bengali alphabet. And what Sri Ramakrishna often says is that if you add more A's to the syllable Ka, it still is Ka. According to Sanskrit Sandhi rules, you can add more of the same vowel to the same vowel. It will not change it because it's already a long vowel. So Ka, add another A, it's Ka, add another A, it's Ka. So undoubtedly you are Ka, which I think here in this means the indivisible, Satchidananda. But you have to worry about taxes. That is, he's got to deal with his embodiment and the fact that he's born in a family. His father suddenly died, and now the family is penniless, and he's worried about it, of course, because they don't have enough to eat. By taxes, okay, here we have, I didn't have to bother with that. By taxes, the master meant Narendra's financial difficulties at home. Master, Krishna Kishore used to say that he was Ka. One day I visited him at his home, and I found him worried. He wouldn't talk to me freely. I asked him, what's the matter? Why are you brooding like this? Krishna Kishore said, the tax collector came today. He said that my pots and pans would be sold at auction if I didn't pay my taxes. That's what I'm worrying about. I laughed and said, how is that? You are surely Ka, the Akasha. Let the rascals take away your pots and pans. What is that to you? To Narendra. So I'm saying that you are Ka. Why are you so worried? Don't you know that Sri Krishna said to Arjuna, if you have one of the 8 siddhis, you may have, those are the occult powers. You may get a little power, but you will not realize me. By the siddhis, one may acquire powers, strength, money, and such things, but not God. Let me tell you something else. Go beyond knowledge and ignorance. People say that such and such a one is a jnani, but in reality it is not so. Vasishtha was a great jnani, but even he was stricken with grief on account of the death of his sons. At this Lakshman said to Rama, this is amazing, Rama. Even Vasishtha is so grief-stricken. Rama said, brother, he who has knowledge has ignorance as well. He who is aware of light is also aware of darkness. He who knows good also knows bad. He who knows happiness also knows misery. Brother, go beyond duality. Go beyond pleasure and pain, beyond knowledge and ignorance, to Narendra. So I'm asking you to go beyond both knowledge and ignorance. Sri Ramakrishna went back to his small couch. The devotees were seated on the floor. Surendra sat by his side. The master cast an affectionate look at him and began to give him advice. Master, to Surendra, come here every now and then. Nangta used to say that a brass pot must be polished every day, otherwise it gets stained. One should constantly live in the company of holy men. The renunciation of lust and greed is for sannyasis. It is not for you. Now and then you should go into solitude and call on God with a yearning heart. Your renunciation should be mental. Unless the devotee is of the heroic type, he cannot pay attention to both God and the world. King Janaka lived a householder's life only after attaining perfection through austerity and prayer. He fenced with two swords, the one of knowledge and the other one of action. The master sang, "This very world is a mansion of mirth. Here I eat, here drink, and make merry." Janaka's might was unsurpassed. What did he lack of the world or the spirit? Holding to one as well as the other, he drank his milk from a brimming cup. Master, for you, as Chaitanya said, the disciplines to be practiced are kindness to living beings, service to the devotees, and chanting the name of God. To Surendra. Why do I say all this to you? You work in a merchant's office. I say this to you because you have many duties to perform there. You tell lies in the office. That is why I do not eat the food you offer me. Because you give your money. Erase that. You tell lies at the office. Then why do I eat the food you offer me? Because you give your money in charity. You give away more than you earn. The seed of the melon is bigger than the fruit, as the saying goes. I cannot eat anything offered by miserly people. Their wealth is squandered in these ways. First, litigation. Second, thieves and robbers. Third, physicians. Fourth, their wicked children's extravagance. It's like that. Your giving money away in charity is very good. Those who have money should give in charity. The miser's wealth is spirited away, but the money of the charitable person is saved. He spends it for a righteous purpose. At Kamarbakur, I've seen the farmers cutting channels to irrigate their fields. Sometimes the water rushes in with such force that the ridges around the fields are washed away and the crops are destroyed. For this reason, the farmers make holes here and there in the ridges. Since the water escapes through the holes, the ridges are not destroyed by the rush of the water. Furthermore, the escaping water deposits soft clay in the fields, which increases their fertility and gives a richer crop. He who gives away in charity achieves great results. He achieves the four fruits, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. The devotees listened with great attention to Sri Ramakrishna's words. Surendra, I cannot meditate well. I repeat the Divine Mother's name now and then. Lying in bed, I repeat her name and fall asleep. Master, that is enough. You remember her, don't you? There are two kinds of yoga, Mana Yoga and Karma Yoga. To perform, following the Guru's instructions, such pious acts as worship, pilgrimage, and service to living beings is called Karma Yoga. The duties that Janaka performed are also called Karma Yoga. The meditation contemplation of yogis is called Mana Yoga. Sometimes I say to myself in the Kali temple, "Oh, Mother, the mind is nothing but yourself. Therefore, pure mind, pure buddhi, and pure Atman are one and the same thing." It was about dusk. Many of the devotees saluted Sri Ramakrishna and started to go home. The master went to the west porch. Pavanat and M were with him. Master to Pavanat, "Why do you come here so seldom?" Pavanat smiling, "Sir, I visit you once in a fortnight. I saw you in the street the other day, so I didn't come here." Master, "What do you mean? What can you gain by mere seeing? Touch and talk are also necessary." The evening worship had begun in the temples. It was the 8th day of the bright fortnight of the moon. The temple domes, the courtyard, the gardens, and the trees were shining in the moonlight. The Ganges was flowing north with a murmuring sound. Sri Ramakrishna sat on the small couch of his room, absorbed in contemplation of the Divine Mother. The evening worship was over. One or two devotees were still in the temple garden. Narendra had left. Sri Ramakrishna was pacing the veranda northeast of his room. M stood there looking at him. Suddenly he said to M, "Ah, how sweet Narendra's music is." M, "Yes, sir." That song beginning with "In Dense Darkness" is particularly beautiful. Master, you are right. That song has deep meaning. A part of my mind is still drawn to it. M. Yes, sir. Master, meditation in darkness is prescribed in the Tantra. Girish Ghosh came and stood by Sri Ramakrishna, who started to sing. Is Kali, my mother, really black? The naked one of blackest hue lights the lotus of the heart. Sri Ramakrishna was filled with divine fervor. Standing with one arm resting on Girish's body, he sang, "Why should I go to Ganga or Gaya, to Kashi, Kanchi, or Prabhas, so long as I can breathe my last with Kali's name upon my lips? What need of rituals has a man? What need of devotions any more, if he repeats the mother's name at the 3 holy hours? Rituals may pursue him close, but never can they overtake him." Then he sang, "Once for all this time I have thoroughly understood, from one who knows it all, I've learnt the secret of bhava. A man has come to me from a country where there is no night, and now I cannot distinguish day from night any longer. Rituals and devotions have all grown profitless for me. My sleep is broken. How can I slumber any more? For now I am wide awake in the sleeplessness of yoga. O Divine Mother, made one with thee in yoga sleep at last," and that's samadhi that he's talking about. "My slumber I have lulled to sleep forevermore. I bow my head," said Prasad, "before desire and liberation. Knowing the secret that Kali is one with the highest Brahman, I discarded once for all both righteousness and sin." Sri Ramakrishna looked at Girish. His ecstatic fervor became more intense. He sang, "I have surrendered my soul at the fearless feet of the Mother. Am I afraid of death any more? Unto the tuft of hair on my head is tied the almighty mantra, Mother Kali's name. My body I have sold in the marketplace of the world, and with it I have bought Sri Durga's name." Intoxicated with God, Sri Ramakrishna repeated the lines, "My body I have sold in the marketplace of the world, and with it I have bought Sri Durga's name." Looking at Girish and M, he said, "Divine fervor fills my body and robs me of consciousness." Here, consciousness means consciousness of the outer world. One needs the knowledge of Brahman and the knowledge of reality and Brahman. Excuse me 1 second. It's warm here. One needs the knowledge of reality and Brahman. Bhakti, love of God, is the only essential thing. One kind of bhakti has a motive behind it. Again, there is motiveless love, pure devotion, a love of God that seeks no return. Keshav Sen and the members of the Brahmo Samaj didn't know about motiveless love. In this love, there is no desire. It's nothing but pure love of the lotus feet of God. There's another kind of love known as Urjita Bhakti, an ecstatic love of God that overflows, as it were. When it is awakened, the devotee laughs and weeps and dances and sings. Chaitanya Deva is an example of this love. Rama said to Lakshman, "Brother, if anywhere you see the manifestation of Urjita Bhakti, know for certain that I am there." Girish, "Everything is possible through your grace. What was I before? And see what I am now." Master, you had latent tendencies, so they are manifesting themselves now. Nothing happens except at the proper time. Take the case of a patient. Nature has almost cured him when the physician prescribes an herb and asks him to drink its juice. After taking the medicine, he is completely cured. Now, is the patient cured by the medicine, or does he get well by himself? Who can tell? Lakshman said to Lava and Kush, that's Rama's twins, "You are mere children. You don't know Rama's power. At the touch of his feet, Ahalya, who had been turned into a stone, got back her human form." Lava and Kush said, "Revered sir, we know that. We've heard the story. The stone became Ahalya because of the power of the holy man's words. The sage Gautama the sage Gautama said to her, "In the Treta Yuga, Rama will pass through this hermitage. You will become a human being again at the touch of his feet." Now, who can tell whether the miracle happened in order that the sage's words should be fulfilled or on account of Rama's holiness? Everything happens by the will of God. If your spiritual consciousness has been awakened at this place, know that I'm only an instrument. Uncle Moon is everybody's uncle. All happens by the will of God. Girish, smiling. Did you say by the will of God? What I'm saying is very much the same thing. All laugh. Master to Girish. By being guileless, one can speedily realize God. There are several kinds of people who do not attain divine knowledge. First, a man with a perverse mind. He is not guileless. Second, one who is very fastidious about outer purity. Third, a doubting person. Sri Ramakrishna spoke highly of Nitya Gopal's ecstasy. 3 or 4 devotees stood near Sri Ramakrishna on the veranda and listened to his words about the exalted state of the Paramahamsa. The master said, "A Paramahamsa is always conscious that God alone is real and all else illusory. Only the swan has the power to separate milk from a mixture of milk and water. The swan's tongue secretes an acid that separates the milk from the mixture. The Paramahamsa also possesses such a juice. It is his ecstatic love for God. That separates the real from the mixture of the real and the unreal. Through it, one becomes aware of God and sees him." And that is the end of that day, which is a good place to stop. Any questions or comments here? Any? No? All right. Well, here are some announcements. Tomorrow, the topic will be the Divine Mother and Us. And we will have a reading next Wednesday on the book on Swami Sardananda by Swami Asheshananda. We just started it last week. It's really an enjoyable book, really lovely. Yes, Glimpses of a Great Soul. I should have that memorized by now. Yes, Glimpses of a Great Soul. And then we will have, let's see, another reading of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna a week from today at exactly this time. Okay, so no other comments or suggestions? I'll close with a chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you all for joining. And have a good week. Stay cool and enjoy. And don't forget, Kali Puja is coming up October 31st. Okay, Jai Ma.